Hello, everyone, and welcome to another horrific review. Well, I've seen this posted around a bit. I thought I'd check it out tonight, and yeah, it's a strange one. At the start, I was nearly ready to turn it off within the first 20 minutes, but it's a slow burner. It takes you a minute to get into. So it's a Spoonful of Sugar. It came out last year, I think. Yeah, it was a Shutter release, so independent film, all that good stuff. How do I best describe this? Think of Orphan, but um, the twist doesn't make sense. Yeah, I think that's the best way. I'm still trying to wrap my head. I only finished there about just over 40 odd minutes ago. Yeah. So to start off, we've got Millicent. Now, this isn't one of these clear protagonist antagonist movies. It's you're not too sure what's going on, but there's like hints being dropped, but you can't really get a sort of beat in the characters, but you know it's all not right. The whole thing is just but we've got Millicent. She's coming to she looks like a homeless person for a start. We start off with her on the bus and she just looks like a hobo and just a weird, someone that you kind of look at and you don't feel right about. That's kind of her persona. Which is strange because she's going for a babysitting job. Now, she looks as if she slept in her clothes for like 3 days and doesn't have, lives in a cardboard box. That's kind of the whole thing she's got going. She turns up to this house and the creepiest family you could ever meet. Like, the mother is like, the son, that's the whole point, is she's there to be able to sit the son who has severe special needs. And you're like, okay, you just had this girl, or, that's obviously the story. Spoilers, if she didn't get hired, no, no thanks. There wouldn't be much of a story. And it's in the title anyway, but so they don't go to an agency for someone that needs special help, that needs more than the average sort of just being looked after and tended to. And this girl comes in and she's not there, she's no experience, even normal babysitting. So to do this type of job, which would be class as specialist, yeah, the wife just goes okay. And then you see she's looking outside and the husband's watering the garden like a moron, topless. And then he's got a hose in his hand, but he comes in to drink out of the tap. We're like, you've got a hose, it's the same water. Also, if you're not going to put it in the glass, then what are you doing? Yeah, this took me a minute to get into. And then it turns out Millicent, right, she's a student apparently. And she's taking a semester out. And they're studying kids. That's why she wants to do this. And it just comes across as naff as hell. As you can tell, I really had a struggle with this movie. Now, towards the end, it picks up, but you've kind of ruined it, up to this point. But not only is she like a student, it turns out that she's in therapy as well. And she's got all these issues going on, and she's being treated with, LSD, lysergic acid diethylamide. It's very Jacob's Ladder type stuff, but not done well. And there should have been a queue because the doctor, use that term lightly with American doctors, but the doctor's like, oh, we'll lower your dose. And she's like, oh, you can't possibly lower my dose. And there's not a red flag there. It's all about addiction or anything. No. And he goes, but if I give you higher, you might hallucinate. And that's the thing. I think the problem, because that's the selling point of this story, is that she's using LSD for treatment. That's supposed to be the whole back of this story, and it makes absolutely no sense. The way it's being played out, and the so-called hallucinogens, or hallucinogenic episodes and all that kind of stuff, it's just dumb. And she's flipping drinking this stuff like it's what, I mean? Just that's her whole plot thing, is getting the pipette and blah, blah, unless that's severely diluted, she'd be on her back for days. The amount she's taken. It's weird. And I'm not not that au fait with psychedelics and stuff, but I've done a lot of research, reading, and I know people, and that's not how it works. Like the LSD is some little tiny tabs that size, and that's enough to put people, on their happy place for a good 12 hours. And she's drinking it like water. Do you know when you've got a case of when overacting is not a good thing? So this kind of progresses. So we've got Johnny. He's the wee boy, and he's in a astronaut's outfit, costume. Now he's supposed to have severe allergies. That's his whole thing. But yet, it's not like what was that other one I reviewed? Was it Pray for Isaiah or something like that there with the wee lad with the allergies, and they took him to the thing. He's actually taped up, and the minute a bit of air gets in, that was him stuffed. But this guy, this wee kid's got his hands uncovered. The helmet doesn't even fit right. There's no purpose to it, but it's supposed to be a protective suit. But he may as well wear a flipping boiler suit and nothing else. Evening, Chris. How are you? Welcome. Sorry I missed you yesterday, buddy. Hope all's well. Yeah, I'm just talking about this awful movie. Yeah. So this wee kid's supposed to have severe allergies, but it's only allergies if he leaves the property. So I'm cutting about the house with no protection and out in the garden with no protection. That's all fine. And then apparently if he touches certain things and his allergic reaction is to throw a fit. Makes no sense. Honestly, the way they set this up makes no sense. They should have just had him as a withdrawn child. That would have made more sense. Just had him withdrawn. This whole building up with allergies and stuff and weird things, just I know they're playing on the mother's psychosis and hinting, but they could have done it a lot more subtly, a lot cleverer, without coming across as moronic. And this really does come across as moronic, the way they set this movie up. I think that's the best, politest way I can describe it. So we'll have this thing, yada yada yada. She goes back to the therapy sessions in between, and then it turns out she's been through the foster care system. They're setting this all up. She's a broken person, and then she's got this weird. No, yeah, the premise seemed okay. I was a bit iffy about it because I know Shudder's track record when it comes to movies like this, when they try and tackle, the directors try to put too many complex ideas. This was, if you've seen it, they're trying to make a horror version of Jacob's Ladder, but they've done it badly. And if you've seen that movie, and it's not strictly a horror movie, it's a Vietnam War movie, if you've ever seen that. Basically, a bunch of they're still serving, find themselves in hospital, and they're trying to piece together what happened to their platoon. And then it's all down to the government experimenting on them with LSD and the blowback of that. And that's a really good tight drama, and also uses what do you call it when somebody on drugs gets it's not a flashback, is it? Something else. So they've got it, and then it's like the next day or something, and they have it again because it re-kicks back into their system. So this is happening all throughout that movie. This is nothing like that, and it's almost set the premise. That was done cleverly. It was done well, and there was actually a mystery to solve. This thing meanders on. Rebecca and Jacob, the married couple, they're the oddest couple you'd ever meet. Rebecca is a borderline psycho. Like that within the first 5 minutes. She is not stable. Johnny is you wonder if it's directly because of her influence or is his condition caused her to be like that, but there's definitely something not there. Jacob is just a wooden plank that kind of waddles throughout this movie, sticking his penis into things. That's his whole purpose. Yeah, he's a himbo. there's absolutely no depth to his character whatsoever. Yeah, that's about all I could say about him. He just kind of meanders by, and then Millicent is more sinister than what she looks, and then they try and play, and that's why I'm saying the orphan sort of comparison. They're trying to bring that along, that she's more than what she seems, and the family's more than what she seems, and they try that similar sort of twist, and it just doesn't play off in this. And like I said, she's staying with her foster father, who they're basically acting like they're in a relationship, and he's begging her to stay. It's really, really weird. And how that dynamic works out. So it turns out she's a manipulator. So she comes across, like I said, at start she looks like a homeless person. She's trying to look like this dowdy, downtrodden, like person, but at the end she's actually quite nasty and manipulative herself. And then she's got her issues, which are more sinister than to bring out. It's like they've had too many ideas. That's I've said this before, a lot of movies, when they have too many ideas and they try to run too many ideas at once, you're walking a tightrope. And that's when the different themes and ideas start colliding into each other. And that's essentially what's happened with this movie. They're playing on the Millicent character and her foibles. So she's basically the psycho babysitter. You've got Rebecca, who's more sinister than what she seems, and they're playing her character out. You have Johnny and trying to figure out what's wrong with him as his trauma, because it's within 10 seconds, you know it's not physical. It's not he doesn't actually have a physical condition, it's mental, because nothing makes sense unless the script writers don't understand how. And you think we'd all have enough practice over the last couple of years to know how viruses work and how to stop transmission and stuff, but yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's something back. I fucking can't remember. Remember we were getting, I used to, way back in the day, work with youth, and you used to have the police come in and they used to show you basically what to look for, and then what the little packets and stuff, what they were using now. So you'd be keeping your eyes open for kids. It's not flashback. It's not flashback. I know that. Yeah, this, and do you know what? Talking about this and trying to figure this word out is actually more interesting than the story. Let's just put it like that. Yeah, the LSD thing, and this is another plot line that really didn't need to happen. It served no purpose. And the thing that they were trying to show was that she, as well as taking it herself in extremely large doses, like killing elephant type doses, was also sprinkling in his daily medication, like pipette. Now, anyone knows how them tablets work, they dissolve. So how the hell she can do it? Like, his pills are laid out for the week. No, I mean, little box things, Monday, Tuesday, all that kind of stuff. And then she's going and dropping, and I mean, not just even like a drop, it's like squirt, squirt, squirt. Those pills would be a mess in the bottom of the packet, because those things they're designed to dissolve. So if you're dropping liquid, yeah, don't know what to tell you. There's no way you do that and get away with it. What else? Yeah, because to get the acid and do that, she nicks it from the therapist, who has it just in a drawer, and yeah, doesn't have that stuff locked up and doesn't notice that she doesn't even just take one or two. She takes like about a whole handful of them. So yeah, I think he would notice that missing. And unless I'm mistaken, even because this is the boombox. This is set in the 80s, I think. Even in the 80s, LSD was a controlled drug. So just to have it laying about willy-nilly and not under lock and key, the fact you can get I mean, it's treated the same as morphine. You don't just have it laying about, and he would have the account for that every day. God, it hurts your brain trying, what I mean? They really just disengage the logic centers with this movie, so it hurts your brain trying to fill in the blanks for them. So anyway, Rebecca and Jacob, they have a sex scene or two, and she wants him to do things. He doesn't want to because she's a mother, and they try to be. And these are two wooden planks. Imagine two wooden planks trying to have sex, and about the emotional and yeah, it's about that exciting. Like they're trying to make this a sexual thing, and you've characters here with no chemistry between them, and Rebecca's about as much fun as a kick in the balls. Yeah, so they try that, titillate you, and it turns out Johnny watches them, and that's why he starts throwing his fits and screaming because he's watched them have really bad sex. Yeah, that was shit too. But they're trying to inject that into it, and then Millicent has a breakthrough after doping him up in drugs and gets Johnny to speak because he's mute, and gets him to say "mama" or something, and then Rebecca goes crazy because I'm the mother, not her, and then Millicent gets in her idea she's going to take over the family, and then this weird freaking dynamic happens, and then it turns out that the doctor is also Johnny's therapist, and she sneaks in and sees him. So they're trying to make it out that it must have been I think it's budget constraints. They could only afford so many actors because linking him to her and the family is trying to put in your mind there's all about conspiracy, but nah, it's just throwing something else into the flipping script fire. I wish for wooden planks. I'm working on a soggy noodle. Here, if it works for you and you can push the rope and make it do the job, here, you've filled the pram a couple of times. Don't know what you're on about. You filled the baby's crib a couple of times, so obviously your soggy noodle's working all right, mate. But yeah, then Millicent starts flirting with Jacob, and he's just walking hard on. Okay, and then they have a sex scene in front of a car, and she's supposed, we're beeping the horn. It's supposed to be funny, and it's not because it's crap. Because she goes from dowdy to putting up makeup and trying to be super minxy, and it doesn't work. And they have no chemistry either. But nah, whatever. And then Johnny sees those two having sex in the garden, and then he starts screaming, but they never notice. And then it turns out Johnny's really violent towards his mother, Rebecca, and always lashing out and biting her and stuff. And then we have the whole thing with the rabbits, that he keeps killing rabbits and burying them, and then he shows her. And of course, this wee guy's supposed to be super sensitive or something, or weak immune system, and he's digging in the ground with his dirt and burying rabbits' bodies. And yeah, but that's okay. Apparently, that doesn't have an effect. And this wee girl doesn't get suspicious. Millicent doesn't get suspicious at all. And she's supposed to be university, i.e. educated, or in the process of being educated. Yeah, God. I don't know what to say to you. I'm sitting slapping my head. I should have a big red mark here. I'm just going, That's me watching this movie. What the hell is going on? Well, we're talking about the Midnight Meat Train on Sunday. That's going to be good. That's an excellent movie. And the short story is cool as well, by Clive Barker. So That'll be a good one. Cameron Adam and I are going to be doing that. So yeah, that'll make up for a whole week of shitty movies. Yeah, we're going to try to do one of them once a month, just one of the Clive Barker movies. That'll be that'll be fun. So we could make up for all this. But I tell you what, though, it's just as valuable watching daft movies as it is good ones, because when you watch a bad movie and you, rather than just being emotionally reaction to it, when you understand why it's bad, then you can appreciate a good one even better. This isn't special effects laden, so they didn't have to go mad with a budget. So maybe they could have splashed out in better actors. I don't know, or maybe it's not the actors. Don't know. I haven't seen these guys in anything else, but maybe a better script, because the actual, the action and there's a bit of action in it and stuff. It's all right. The visuals not are good. It's just the storytelling is abysmal, and it's just so convoluted and messy that you're just like, oh, what the hell am I watching? Now, like I said, it took me more than half the movie, I think, to start getting into it, and it starts getting a wee bit more interesting, like towards the end of the movie. When we see Millicent, sorry, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. Damn, every bloody live stream, I'm either coughing or snuffling or sneezing. Oh, man. Yeah, we'll see this weird dynamic with her foster father who basically wants to shag her. And she said she promised when she turned 18, yet she told him she's 21. So I don't know what that is. She kills him. She kills the doctor. She then goes to try and go into the house again, and then it just all kicks off and goes mad. I don't know what. No, and I'll not spoil the ending. Okay, I'll let you check us out for yourself, because if it kept the same sort of pace with the ending and sorted out the lead up to it, and dropped the stuff with the acid because it served no purpose, dropped the stuff with their weird, maybe the therapy sessions or something, or the whole immune system thing. It had it just as a withdrawn. It had to drop that nonsense out. What else? God, I'm trying to think. Actually, have Jacob and Rebecca with a wee bit of rapport between them, and a bit more conspiratorial, and on the same team rather than this weird dynamic they had, definitely would have been better. But the ending kind of ramped up. We got this twist at the end, and the things went the way they did, and it wasn't bad. That's why I'm torn. I'm not ready to write this movie off completely. The end was kind of exciting. It did get interesting, and the power dynamics shifting and changing, and it coming to its climax was cool. The very ending of it, the movie closing out, was strange. Once again, it's the actors' chemistry between each other. They don't have any, and the whole power dynamic thing didn't play off well because it's not being presented in a good way. They're almost like they've got the script in their hand and they're reading from it as the camera's rolling. It's that kind of bland. Yeah, I would say the Jacob and Rebecca characters are the worst in this. They're just not. I don't want to say likable. They're just not anything. You don't care. What was absolutely hilarious, and I'm sure all our authors in this will appreciate when she just talks about, oh, we need to do blah blah blah. I'm gonna have to write another book to pay for the mortgage, and something about an extension. Oh, I'm gonna have to write another book to pay for this. As if it works that way. You just write a book and the money just comes in, and you just fix everything. Oh my god, it was a real slap in the face to the authors, I think. The way she acts there. Any of our authors and others, check out this movie and get her attitude. Let me know what you think about it, because yeah, I think that annoyed me more than anything, considering the fact that I work with authors I'm sort of one myself, and I know how bloody hard it is to get sales. And yeah, she's just so blasé about, yeah, well, we're gonna have the rain on our book, and she writes sex books, and she's fucking, there's no bit of anything alluring, or who'd you call that idiot back in the 80s in America who kept like a sex therapist, and she was ugly as sin, and she was rancid, and she had a weird accent, like a real put on European accent. Would see it pop over the pond every so often. You're like, who the hell's that? Yeah, weird. But yeah, she's supposed to be that. I don't know whether it's. I can't remember what the big was. It wasn't sex therapy. It was. I think it was about BDSM or something or whatever. But yeah, you just don't see it because it's nothing. But anyway, there you go. I'm not going to hurt my brain anymore talking about this. That's my review. hope you like it. And if you want to watch the movie, even through curiosity, the link's in the description. If you don't, no worries. If you've already seen it and disagree, let me know. What did you get from it? I just, yeah, I tried, man. I did. I tried to get on board with it, and it just fell flat. And it was a shame because there was Dr. Ruth. That's the one with the funny accent and the humpback, and she's about 3 foot tall. And she's always on, always on flipping TV shows and that, and you're like, what the hell? I'd rather have the. Do you know what? If I was having trouble with my sex life, which I don't know because I'm not having any, because I can't be arsed, so no trouble at all. It's all great, peace and quiet, no drama. But if I was having trouble, I think I'd rather go to the old woman out of Midsummer movies. You know, the one that was pushing the guy's arse and telling him to hurry up. I'd rather have her give me sex advice than Dr. Ruth. And definitely not this character, Rebecca. You'd be like, nah, I'm good. I'm going to join a monastery now because yeah, if you're the answer, I'll pass. Thank you very much. Yeah, they just tried to throw sex into this desperately to make it into something, and it just didn't work. If you don't have the characters, if you don't have the rapport, the sensuality, you're not. It doesn't matter what you do; it's not going to work. But we're gonna have a laugh anyway. Right, that's it. I'm going to shut up now and let you all go. But thanks everyone for tuning in. Good to see you again, Chris. Let's hope next week we get the schedule started and get a good game of Call of Cthulhu going. I'm looking forward to this. Doing terrible things to you. Hopefully you'll survive the session. Everyone else, obviously, keep an eye on the channel. All our scheduled streams are up. I'll pop on again and do something for the end of the week. Definitely on Sunday, we've got Midnight Meat Train. Jump on for that. And I'm sure we'll have much more coming up. Plenty of interviews coming up as well. Some great people coming on. Look forward to that too. So there you go. Keep up with the other channel. Do the typey clicky things. And until next time, keep it creepy. Keep it horrific.